The gym from freshman year. This guy's name is Rashad, and he taught me a lot about guys in life, especially young African American men. This guy is something that I call, you know, jealousy. But you're not jealous at him at first glance. You're jealous of him once you truly get to know what he represents in this society. Now, this guy is a stereotypical nigga. He's a stereotypical black guy who literally is loud, doesn't pay attention in class, doesn't do anything he's supposed to do, but he's still making it. He's still surviving. Now, let me say this. This certain guy taught me that I was white back when I was in high school because I felt like if I was a goody two shoes that I was smart. No, just because you follow the rules doesn't necessarily make you smart. Now, this guy, whenever we would do math, he wouldn't do work, but he was always slapping his iPod up in class. And, he was always doing what he needed to do, like for himself. He didn't give a fuck about school. He was a troublemaker. He's been in and out of juvie a whole bunch of times. I used to think that those people were stupid until I started looking at those gangsters in the light, I realized that there is a side to being a gangster that is beneficial and does get you connections. This guy was a brute, So I'm in my freshman year. He was a senior when I was a freshman. And I thought just because I was nice, just because I followed the rules, that literally this guy wasn't technically smarter than me. So this guy was a pothead. He would always say a stupid shit in class. He would always literally just blast his music. And everybody's telling him that he's an idiot, that he's a piece of shit. Well, I'm like, you know what? I used to agree with them, but now I look back at it, that guy was the shit. Now, I don't want you to look up to this guy. I want you to understand that there are different people in the world that this is what being a gangster used to be versus how it is today. That is when I had competition. You see, he had shoes to match every single outfit. Every single outfit he had a different pair of shoes, and every single shoes he had cost at least $100. He had a different pair of J's for every single outfit he wore. But he wasn't doing shit in class. He wasn't doing shit. But you know what? He was getting woman. You know how I know he was getting woman? Because he never talked about bitches. He only talked about bitches in bits and segments. I've only literally heard him talk about bitches once. Literally once. And that's how I knew he wasn't a virgin. This guy had a gold grill when I was in high school. Literally. He had a grill. He had the muscles. He was a basketball player. He even had some interesting stories like, yeah, my pinky bone got broken because I was playing basketball. And literally, everybody was hella interested in him, even though he was the loudmouth. Like, there was something different towards him. I'm like, how come I can't cat back against this guy when he's supposed to be a stereotypical retard that drops out of college? Because this guy is street smart. This is what street smarts actually is. He's like, oh yeah, I smoke 6 months a day. And I'm like, damn, I can't even handle that. It's like, now that I look back at it, I'm like, dude, that's not anything. Because you have to understand that that guy literally showed me why I was jealous. Why I was jealous of black men when I was in high school. Now, trust me, that guy wasn't going nowhere. But it was good to know what type of person he was, because there are a lot of people who get away with their behavior. Because this guy stole something from me. He stole an iPod. And literally, he went to juvie, and within a week and a half, he got back in school. And literally, he was shunning me, asking me for his money back when he stole it from me. But am I gonna fight this dude when I'm a freshman in high school? I'm like, no. You see, and that's what made me white. And that was wrong. You see, this guy was so street smart that he made everybody who was book smart jealous because he never did the work. But whenever you tested him, he would shun you. He would shun the living fuck out of you. Like me, I used to do the dance back in high school. He's like, nah, I come from a place where we do that all the time. The shit you're doing is a special. And he's the one who told me that when you turf, when you dance, you're too, wiggly. You're too this and that. You gotta be more precise. You need to have rhythm. He told me that this constructive criticism, he was slapping the songs that I slap, And he has to understand, no, we had to understand at the time that is a hood nigger, and that guy has literally hood nigger privileges. Now, there was this one time when these guys called him a coward. There was this white guy when I was in high school who tried to say that guy wasn't shit. That tall ass dude, Rashad, he ran away from me and my junkie friends, and we had crowbars and shit. And I think about that now. He's like, they called him a coward because they pulled up to his block, but they pulled up with hella weapons, and he stayed inside. He's like, oh, he's a little bitch. I'm like, no, he is intelligent. Why the fuck would you put yourself out there to be killed? People would be like, face your problems. And like, why? So I can fall for your trap? He knew that first thing, but if one of those white boys saw him one-on-one, would they fuck with him? No, they wouldn't. And again with the white, he was shunning white people 24/7. Back when Michael Jackson died when I was in high school, literally, this guy, I'm all like, hey, all these black people were all like, oh my God, it's so sad. And everybody's like, oh, I cried when Michael Jackson died. Me? This is why you can't be white in society. This is why you must know the importance of a musician of that caliber. Because I was said something so fucking stupid. I'm like, I didn't cry when Michael Jackson died. And so then Rashad comes up. He's like, because you're not really black. That hit me. It's all like, oh, this guy doesn't always talk about, all I need is book smart to survive. Like, no. And because you're not black is why you think that is a literal statement. That's like saying we didn't cry when Bernie Mac died. This guy was he was on his shit. He's like, I don't need fucking school. He was really on that shit, And these white boys are trying to say that, oh, he's just arrogant. No, he has style. He has everything. He doesn't need you because he has family, okay? But the whole problem with this and him and white people was, I stayed in like 2 uploads that there was this teacher who I looked up to, Mr. Pledger, and he was the smartest guy who I can never cap back on. Still to this day, I can cap on now that I'm a grown man, but when I was younger, when I was a freshman, I used to believe everything Mr. Pledger used to tell me, everything this white teacher used to tell me. Now, there was this one time where Rashad and Mr. Pledger butt heads, and they were arguing, and Mr. Pledger was trying to get Rashad to get out the class. He's like, oh, you're a senior, you're 18, I can't do this no more. Like, he's like, I'm not gonna stoop down to a child this level. And so Rashad cats back like, oh, you're talking to a little kid right now. Now, and then Mr. Pledger started stuttering because he was trying to get him out the class, but he hit him with, you're arguing with a little kid right now. And you know why that hit him so fucking hard? Is because when you get out in the real world, you realize that 18 versus someone who's in his 50s like that is a little kid versus Mr. Pledger. I don't give a fuck if you're 18 on paper. He literally said set in stone, the one who did the least work in class was able to shun the teacher that could son us all. Because he was 100% book smart. You could tell, I could tell that this guy was a gangster, He started slapping that freshman year song, You're a Jerk. And I thought, oh, this be like, because we were all doing it. This is when I was in the skinny jeans phase. And I was listening to that, I'm like, oh, that shit go. And then he's all like, nah, this is the instrumental. I'm like, oh, that is a real fucking OG right there. That's a real OG because you have to know that. And he told me a lot about dancing. I'm like, dude, that ain't shit. The turf dance you do, I know little kids who can dance better than that. Back where I come from. I'm like, that ain't shit. It's like, literally, this is a grass right. All goes back to what I'm telling you. You're arguing with a kid right now. I know kids who have more feats than you and stuff. It's really disgusting, but it's the truth. It's the harsh reality. That guy was a mob boss. That guy stole multiple shit and got away with it. That guy was a criminal, got away with it. And you know what? He died having the last laugh. It's really sucks, but there are a lot of people out there that used to live like that. Nowadays, I see no one like Rashad. I see no one being a gangster properly. I see no one understanding the importance of street smarts like how he did, This guy was so cool. There was no such thing as fake it till you make it back in the day, because literally my teacher was playing a song in class and Rashad's all like, oh hell yeah, my girlfriend slaps the song, and he was able to rehearse the song, and he was able to match what she was saying bar for bar. He knew every single lyric, and he did in a natural way to let you know that, yo, this is my woman. That ain't sure I have a lot of women. I mean, like back in the day, this guy literally told me the rundown on how you're supposed to keep girls in check. He's like, yeah, I can talk to all these other guys, but you can't talk to no other nigga. You can't talk to any nigga, but I can have all these girls, all these, but as soon as I see you, as soon as I hear you talk to another male figure, you're dead. Metaphorically speaking. Okay, so, no, but seriously, that's how it was back in the day. The girls were so submissive back in the day because he had the irreplaceable factor to a point where it's like, yeah, I can have all these women, but you ain't getting shit. And I'm going to make sure you ain't getting shit, you know. And he had connections, he had homies, you know, that could have fucked her, you know. There's a whole lot of shit that went on with Rashad Street Smarts that literally, this was one of the craziest examples, and let me know he tortured me because I used to be that square, and I used to think that, oh, I'm a good get two shoes. A hoodlum like that can never shun me, when he used to shun me every day, you know. That whole, because you're not black, you don't understand, like, I should never say that. And my response to that in my head was all like, oh, I don't know Michael Jackson personally, so why should I care? And he's all like, you are not black, you do not know who, the way he has it. Yes, mood tricks, me, used to be that fucked up in high school. Yes, I have changed a lot. This is letting you know that I learned the importance of street smarts, but I also learned the importance of book smarts, you know? And you have to understand that that happens. There's a lot of people like that who live. That's why I used to live. That is why I, you know, don't sleep on it. I don't judge a book by its cover, you know, because they can surprise you, you know. So, without further ado, this is a gym for freshman year. This is a guy named Rashad, and he is what I felt a gangster used to be compared to a watered down version it is today.